Milo, is that you?
There, I think I got it. Bruce?
Lionel.
Bruce?
Lionel.
There's more guys in the studio than there usually is.
Yeah, I know. The door got. We got to fix the springy thing that's supposed to snap it shut.
The springy thing.
It's loose again, so it kind of doesn't work properly, and and then you look. Next thing you know, the riffraff's all wandering around here trying to, steal the souvenir ashtrays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
That's what we need is AML ashtrays. Don?
Yes?
How do you like your new headset?
I love my new headset.
How do
I sound?
You sound great. I love it. What do you hear it? I can't. That's the Tom Jacobs headset.
He got it the right way.
He's got it back. He's got it backwards. I didn't have the heart to tell him.
Oh, okay.
I do? Why? What's the matter with it?
I think if you looked at the one on your right ear, it's got an L in it.
I looked. Hold on a minute.
He's taking
see no writing on there.
All right.
I don't know if this. It tells you not this.
He's moving it now. There's a lot of microphone moving noise.
I don't know. How's that? Do I look better?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's how my other one is.
Before you look like Chris Adams.
Oh, I looked at it too. I couldn't find any letters on the thing, so I just figured.
There's usually left and right on them, so you know.
Yeah, I didn't see nothing. It sounds the same on both ways. It doesn't sound any different.
It doesn't sound any different. It just looks better. It's you know what? It's a visual thing that it throws me and Bruce off.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just.
I'll make sure it's this way from now on.
Okay, I appreciate it. And we have a voice. We are about to hear a voice that nobody has ever heard ever before on the AML network.
We did have a fanfare for this?
I don't think we really.
I mean, not the fanfare for Superfan. We must be able to come up with something.
How about a drum roll?
Like Mr. Messenger in Tiny Town, Mrs. Fowle's Tiny Town on SCTV.
What? How about a drum roll?
That would work.
Yeah. All the way from Sydney, Australia. He's a big shot with the railways down there. I think he owns them. His name is Paul Cassar. I love that last name, Cassar. And we just interviewed you, didn't we, Paul?
Absolutely. It was fantastic. Great experience.
Was it really?
What was the best part, Paul?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I think, speaking to you all, speaking to Don for the first time, it's just a big family in AML. I've grown to love it in the 4 to 5 months that I've joined and been listening. It's just fantastic.
This is the first time.
How do you think the ending went?
Yeah, how'd the ending go?
We got there in the end.
And for those listening at home, you'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, you'll have to wait till his episode comes out. That's Paul Cassar. And what is the thing that we said? I'm going to put it on the... Oh, anyways, you'll see it when we... What?
Shelf layout? You're going to put as the official AML...
Yeah, but there was something about... we're glad when it's over or something like that. This will all be over sooner rather than later.
No, the line's shorter.
The line. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that line. Yeah, the line shorter. This is the line shorter. Yeah, this line.
So, when do you go 6 out of 10? I thought that was the ending.
Every episode, the numbered episodes, which are every other Monday, the original podcast, it started out as it was going to be 2 episodes a month. And that was the very first thing we ever did was episode number 1. And then it was going to be 2 episodes every month, the first Monday and the third Monday. And so we just always numbered them. So like I just published episode 179, which was part 2 of Tony Custer. So that particular thing has Happy Rails to You. Everything else is 6 out of 10.
Not everything else.
No.
Not everything.
Except for viewer mail.
Chimes ago.
Except for viewer mail. So there's viewer mail too. That's right. We have viewer mail, which has its own ending, and the episodes have their own ending, and everything else is...
How about the segment?
Segments are now. You're being a problem.
And segments are usually something different.
Yeah, segments.
Yeah, but
part
the segment is the subway chimes go, ain't it? At the end of the segment.
Yeah, and but this is he was talking about.
And for those at home, you can write down your answers and send them in and win a swell prize.
Yeah, win a swell prize. Yeah, write down your answers and send them in. See if we put them in the bin.
Because that's what I had ready to go.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I should. I thought about it earlier, and I'm like, he listens to him. He'll know which one.
I can't believe you guys. I can't believe Paul just said this was the first time you guys have ever talked to each other.
It is. We usually this is 2 hours. We do this for 2 hours, but
yeah, what is it with you
texting? It's like, oh my god, we text a lot.
Oh, can you text? Can I text you? I don't know how to.
Well,
text
we talk on Messenger.
Messenger, right?
Well, somebody will put something on the shelf modelers page, and then people will talk about it, and then all of a sudden we move over to the Messenger part, and then we go on.
You haven't done the video conference on Messenger yet?
Nah, no, I don't know. I know we could have, I guess. But
it depends what time. If it's at night, I'm in front of the TV with the wife, so
and she's giving you the look.
Yeah,
I'm getting up, and he's going to bed. One of the two, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next time, you know what? Try talking to each other.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what time is it? About 1 in the afternoon right now? Your time, Paul?
It's 2:00.
2:00 in the afternoon. Okay.
In Australia, in Sydney, Australia, it's 2:00. Isn't this the most fantastic thing we could possibly be doing? There, I'm already doing it. Isn't this the most fantastic thing we could possibly be doing? Got a guy in Florida, a guy in Sydney, Australia, and a guy in Toronto, Canada. This is unbelievable. And then we got a guy that just can't stop talking. So the reason we're here, the reason the four of us have gathered here is because this is, we're introducing a variety hour, all-star variety hour number. Oh, I probably can even tell you the number if I go to the big, if I go to the big page, I can probably even tell you the number that it's going to be. I think it's like,
oh boy, that would make it much more personalized.
Yeah, it will. Like, it'll seem like we're organized.
Well, true.
We
can always hope for that.
Yeah.
Although this idle chit chat before is kind of killing that thought.
Yeah, but that's if you do it naturally. You see people. Oh yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
This is all part of.
It's like they're just fooling around.
It's
all part of the stick.
It's all part of the bit. Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
Fans. Oh, this is no. That's wrong. That's not it. Let's see. Keep scrolling. Wow, we haven't done all-star. This is all-star variety hour number 34.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're introducing all-star variety hour number 34, and it primarily consists of about an hour and 20 minutes of talking to Seth Gartner and Scott Lister. And Seth had gone to visit Scott. And I thought, well, that'll be an interesting chit chat with Seth and Scott, and Seth can tell us what it's like at Scott's layout. Beautiful layout. Have you ever seen that one, Paul?
Yeah, I've got him on Facebook. Scott's.
Oh, unbelievable! He is incredibly talented. Scott Lister is just one of these guys. He's like Adam Pinellas. He can do anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He can build custom cars. He can build beautiful model railroads. He can fly a plane. He's got it all. He's
what he's doing is unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. I'm going to go visit him but it is. So that's primarily what this is about. But we open up with about an 18 to 20 minute segment with Mark Herrick and Don Iris.
Oh,
right.
I know him.
Yeah,
I know both of them.
What were you talking about? I forget. It was after we were doing Here They Are Together Again, and then you started talking about something, and I said, well, we got to record this. But obviously I haven't edited it yet because I don't know what it is.
But we do know the number.
So
actually, I'll have something else to talk about because I'm going back up there in another week and a half with him. We're going to the Syracuse op, see a drop.
Oh, are you?
There you go.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yep.
Oh,
flying
cool.
up.
Maybe we should get Mark.
Flying up. We're flying up, going to Tony Donatelli's op session on Thursday, and then I'm going home with Mark, and then we're heading out on Friday morning to Syracuse for the weekend.
And are you staying at Mark's place?
I am.
Because last time he wouldn't let you stay at his place. You had to stay with your dad.
His wife won't be there, so that's why I'm going to be there. Because she's coming down here. She's coming down here to visit my wife while I'm up there.
Oh, it's a perfect plan.
Yeah, she'll be driving a big red Tundra back from the airport to my house.
Okay. What kind of car does your wife drive other than the Corvette?
My wife has a 2015 Audi S5.
Nice.
Well, why don't you drive that to the airport?
Because I'm driving my truck to the airport.
Oh.
I'm not a car guy. I'm a truck dude.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me ask you a serious question, Don.
Okay.
I think you are the ideal guy to ask, and I want an honest answer.
Okay.
I want an absolute honest answer. So I was gonna buy another. I had to sell my truck when I got cancer. Fortunately, so that was just the way things worked out because I had to get into the city. So I sold my Toyota Tundra. I loved driving my Toyota Tundra. Always drove a pickup truck. So then I bought, an SUV, and I bought a couple of those for my son because he sold Hyundais, so I had to buy them from him. So I drove those, blah, blah, blah. But I decided that on day 2,500, if I survived 2,500 days, I was going to buy myself another pickup truck, and I was just going to buy just whatever the heck I wanted to be another Toyota Tundra. And then I'm thinking, I got all these road trips to do. I want to go see Dave Abeleys and Tony and David Starr and Scott Lister and Seth Gartner. And I got all kinds of people I want to visit. And I'm thinking a lot of road trips, Springfield, of course, Tom Stock. And finally I broke down. Then I bought a really nice high-end car. And it's an SUV. It's not a car. It's an SUV. Do you think do you think any less of me?
I do not.
No?
No.
Because I've always been a pickup truck guy.
Well, it's what you're comfortable in. I mean, me. I got my boat too, so I have to take that in consideration because the boat's pretty big and heavy, so I need something beefy enough to tow that around with. So.
Yeah. But now I
just like my trucks.
I know. I like. And now I'm thinking I'm just going to go buy a used pickup anyways and stick it behind the house so I have it to drive and go.
Buy a used Tundra.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I might as well buy a used Rolls Royce for the money they cost these days. Holy mackerel!
The dealer's been trying to get mine for the last year.
Has he?
Or you could go for the smaller one, the Tacoma.
Yeah, Tacoma. I had a Tacoma. That's the first one I had.
It's a nice truck.
Yeah. That's a nice. It gets about the same fuel mileage too. Believe it or not, with a 6-cylinder and an 8-cylinder.
That's the only thing wrong. That's the only thing wrong with the Toyota Tundra. They suck gas like they're going out of style.
The only thing I don't like about the Tacoma, it wasn't good for towing stuff. I found, because I used to tow my module trailer to Springfield every year, and it struggled.
Did it?
Uphill all the way there. Yeah, it was almost sounded like I was running in second gear all the time. It just didn't have the to me. It just didn't have the oomph that I was looking for. And it was nice without the trailer, but as soon as you put something on the back of it, it was like a dog.
The vehicle I bought is a Toyota product, and it has the V6 engine in it. It's got a lot of grunt. I'll give it credit for that. It's old style. Anyways.
I guess Toyota's, this year's trucks, Toyota has their new hybrid V8.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be something, but I don't know if I would buy one in the first year.
I wouldn't.
Ride a little bit.
So you're okay with
nice though.
So you're okay with it? I didn't buy a pickup truck.
I'm fine with that. You can park that in my driveway if you bring it down here.
All right.
It's still a Toyota.
It is. It's a fine Toyota product.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a beautiful vehicle. I love driving it. I called it, and Bruce, we did go with your suggestion.
Did we? Excellent.
We call it Biff. Me and Biff are going to the store. It just seems to have a ring to it.
Did you run that by hot pot?
I did not, and I probably should. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure he would go. Well, you know what? When we do the next fans, Bruce, we better put that past hard part.
You can have another contest.
I just say we tell them it's done.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you get the Biff decal and put it on right over the driver's side door. You're good to go.
With a couple of checkered flag stickers.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been awfully quiet, Paul. What do you think of all this?
I was just going to say, did you put a license plate cover on it?
I did, but I didn't bend
it or anything.
Yeah, I didn't spray it 4 times with lacquer thinner.
And you didn't have to bend it.
Did you put the AML sticker in the back window yet?
Yeah.
Take a picture of it, post it on Fans.
No, I didn't do that like you did. Yeah, I got to give you credit, man.
Boat too.
And on your boat too. Absolutely. Actually, what I have on my car is I lost a friend of mine. Unfortunately, he very, very much struggled with depression, and I have his hockey number on the back of my car.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what I did. All right, that's it. So then this is All-Star Variety Hour number 34. It is about 20 minutes with Mark and Don. We got to come up with a name for you guys. Mark and Don, the something or others. And
something or others.
Yeah, the something or others.
Yeah.
Does Mark know that? Does Mark know?
Done.
Does Mark?
Something.
Yeah. Does Mark know that you're coming up there?
Yes.
Or is this how he's finding out through the podcast?
Oh no, he knows. We planned this for a while. It was a toss up between Oktoberfest and I'll see a drop. But I want to go up and see Bill Brown. He's a guy from Locke, that I did background stuff from. So, and we're operating at his layout. He's one of the layouts we're operating on. So I get to see Bill. There's a bunch of guys up there that I know. There's a lot of guys going to it that I know from Massachusetts too. There's half the crew I know.
Perfect. That's a good.
It worked out good.
How many layouts do they have?
We get to operate on 2 different layouts on the weekend. They got a train show in the middle of all that going on and stuff. So it's a little different than it was the last couple of times you've been there.
Yeah. And what is that, about a 4-hour drive from Mark's place?
From Mark's house, like 3.5, right up the Turnpike through Albany up in there.
All right. Okay, that's it. All right. Paul, are you ready to take us out of this? To take us out of this segment into the next one?
Yep.
You are? I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, now I can hear you. Okay. Okay, so go. Do it.
Happy rails to you.
Holy moly. You have never listened to the podcast.
Oh, and we even talked all the endings.
Yeah.
That was the 6.
No.
Lionel? Lionel, does your head hurt now?
Oh, my head is like pounding. My head is pounding.
Yeah.
You have never listened to this podcast ever.
More crickets.
Yeah, more crickets.
Okay, do you want again? Shall we run through them again? What the options are, and see if you can figure it out.
Your original episodes are happy rails to you. Your viewer mail is good night, Dick. Your what's the next one, Bruce?
The
everything else. Everything else is 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
And then when you're going from one segment to another,
is Subway Chimes Go.
All right. I don't know when this is. It's going to be very short, like everything, an hour and a half later. But we did a podcast with Mark Herrick and Don Iris. Mark, of course, is my favorite. Don is just the guy that you got to have come along.
You have to, otherwise he whines. And
oh, my God. Yeah. Don says if you don't like what he's saying, just tell him to shut up. But everybody does, and nothing happens. Yeah.
Boy.
So yeah, on the last time we were talking, you talked about derails, and then and I forgot to ask you about it. So what are these derails you speak of?
Scott Thornton has 3D printed them. They're really nice. They I had a section of my layout where it's kind of on a little incline, and the tank cars, they roll so nice that they just roll right down in there. Even it's not that much difference, but it's just enough. So I had used a Caboose Hobbies hand throw to act as a brake on the hill. And then I seen Scott Thornton advertising these his 3D printed derails, and I looked into it, and I liked them, and I ordered some, and I installed them, and actually there's a picture on the Facebook page of them installed and painted, and they worked out real well. I bought half a dozen of them, and I'm going to be using the rest of them pretty shortly. But they're they are really nice, and I enjoyed them.
And they're
They
like
do their job.
what is it? It says here they're $8.75 each. How many did you buy?
I bought 6.
Do they actually work?
They do.
Really?
Yep, and it's nice because when you just get your little pick tool and you just pull the car forward and all you do is just flip it. You just flip it on the inside and then the car rolls back. It's built with just the clearance you need for the flange of the wheel to get by between that and the rail, but when you flip it back onto the rail, it holds that car right in place.
So it sits on the inside of the rail.
It sits on the inside of the rail, but and then the top part of the derail flips up on top of the rail itself. Then when you want to,
go ahead.
Yeah, so when you want to stop the car, you flip the derail up onto the rail, and the wheel of the car sits on it. Then you bring a locomotive in, and you pull the car away from the derail. You just get the pick tool and just flip it onto the inside, and then the car passes right over it.
Oh, neat.
It works beautiful.
How many did you buy? You must have bought like a half a dozen.
About a half a dozen of them.
Wow. All right. That's a shout out. So that's scottysmodelshop.com. That's our buddy Scott Thornton. We're going to have to get him on here to talk about that. You know who else, Mark, who doesn't shut up when you tell him to?
Who's that?
Me.
You.
What else were we going to talk about? There was something else I said, I wanted to talk about that. It was the derail and what else? We were talking about something and I wanted to say
EOT?
No. Oh,
Mac rail?
Mac rail, yeah.
Yeah, the Mac rail. I ordered, so he's got, I have a bunch of, I was using the Ring Engineering EOTs on my cars, but I found they work great when they're on code 100 rail. But when you put them on code 83 rail, all that changes. That control box is so close to the rail. When you're on a tortoise machine, the bar that comes up through there, if that thing ain't completely flush with the top of that rail, that thing catches on everything. I've had it catch on frogs and everything to the point where they just derail the car. So I kind of got away from them, and then I seen that Mac rail come out with they're not operatable EOTs, but they fit right in the back of the coupler. And so I bought a bunch of those, and I forgot what happened. I ordered them, and he was waiting for something, and I had to wait for him, and he sent me an email. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm waiting for some tape or something." He was reflective tape he was waiting to get, and he offered to send me. He gave me a choice of 3 other things. One of the 3 other things, if I wanted for free. I'm like, who does this? Nobody does that. He was a great guy. So he sent me. So I ended up getting the rack that all the EOTs sit on when you're not using them. So I put it outside the engine house, and you just put the EOTs right in that. So, but it's really cool. I tell you, these guys, these 3D printers. That's not something really I want to get into, but as long as everybody else buys one, I'll just buy all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And how did you find out about Macro?
I believe it was on your podcast, I think.
There
Wasn't
you go.
it?
Boom.
Yeah, it was on your podcast.
Yeah, let's next time you want that answer a little quicker.
Okay.
How did you find out about Macro?
On your podcast.
Boom. There you got it. Now you're picking a. You know what, Mark, you got to say to him next time is if you don't behave, I'm going to drop you like a 3-foot putt.
There you go.
I'm going to beat you like a redheaded stepchild.
Stepchild. There you go.
And Mark, we got to talk to you about something now. We're only 5 minutes in, but we got to talk. Give me something to talk to you about. I'm going to look at your page. I'll figure out something.
Okay, look at my page.
I'll figure out. I'm looking on. Let's see here.
You should look at his bridges. He did a fantastic job on his bridges.
Okay.
And the bridges in the snow shed.
The snow shed's neat. Yeah, I like the
snow shed. That snow
shed
come out beautiful.
Well, look at this. Go ahead.
That's the base. That's the base photo on the Facebook page. It's the snow shed. Yeah, so I scratch built that snow shed and took those pictures. Those are my photos in the background.
Oh, really?
And and I blended that right into that scene there. That's along the high line there of BNSF.
That's beautiful scenery.
He does a nice job.
He does. He's just not as fast as you. But who is?
No, definitely not as fast.
No.
If he could be up there 6-8 hours a day, he'd get a lot more done.
Yeah.
When I first retired in February 19, I was out there quite a bit, and
right.
But then this pandemic hit. I went back to work part time, and that sort of shot a hole in it.
Why'd you go back to work because of the pandemic? Because they just needed bodies?
Yeah, they needed some help there. I work for a fire alarm place, and
right.
So he needed some help in getting through the pandemic and everything else. And so I go back. I work 3 days a week typically for him, so it's not too bad.
And then you finished the end of you put up some you finished the end of a loop here or something with some hardboard on. You posted that on.
Yeah, that's an old. Yeah, that's an older picture. Just showing how you can bend that masonite hardboard. You just wet it a little bit. You just sort of form it into its shape. And, a lot of people think it just will crack, but I just kept wetting it with a damp sponge and just kept bending it around. And that's probably an area that's maybe, I don't know, probably 14, maybe 15 inches across. It's pretty tight. So I was able to fit that in for the backdrop. That's in the middle peninsula.
Did you have to curve the back at all, or you just wet it?
Nope. I never curved the back or anything. I thought I was going to have to, but that hardboard, if you wet it, it'll go.
Must be the thinner stuff, than the 1/8 stuff, not the thicker stuff.
Yeah, it's the thinner stuff.
Yeah.
And then what do you attach it with? Drywall screws or what?
Yeah, drywall screws, and then I just mud the joints. I just use tape and joint compound on the joints.
I think it's important to put in curves as much as you possibly can rather than angled, even for the edge of the layout. You want curves as much as you can as opposed to angled corners. Like if you have a 90-degree corner and you do like 245s rather than just if it's an inside corner where you're standing at the layout, you want to try to make it a little bit more, what's the word? Pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, it's more pleasing to the eye, and it's not as stark. It's not as decisive,
stark.
Yeah, it's cleaner.
All right, and then Don's wife. We're back to talking about Don again.
Yeah, it's his wife. Yeah, she made the light for me.
Yeah, she made the light for him.
That's cool. How big is that?
That's
go ahead.
I don't know, about a foot high, maybe.
Yeah, probably about 5 by 5 by 5. So it's 4-sided. So the front is the front, the back is the back of the locomotive, then each side is the side of the locomotive. She did the whole thing all the way around.
Oh, I got it. Look at that. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, she did a neat job for me. Yeah. So that's her hobby. She does the stained glass while Don's out in the shed.
One day, what she's going to do is lock the shed from the outside.
Yeah.
So I got the key.
She's gonna put a shovel through the handle. You're not gonna get out.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Don, I want to ask you something else. One other thing which I shouldn't do, which is a mistake on my part, but I will anyways. So you built this building here that you took from a picture. I see the Google Earth picture, and then you replicated the building. Scratch built it. What is that build? It's on August the 24th.
What color is it?
Well, it's gray and with brown brick on the bottom. You only posted it like about a week ago.
Oh, that is okay. So at Valley Falls, on the opposite side of the street from the crew office, is a shack building there that's home to a diesel fuel injector company. That I guess they work on diesel fuel injectors. So that's all that is. So there's another part of that building. There's probably another probably 12 feet maybe of an addition on that building that I had to leave off because I don't have enough space between the fascia and the track to put that in there. So I had a so I got all a buddy of mine went down there and he got all the measurements and everything for the building. So everything is built to exact measurements of what it actually is down there. That's how far I went with this. And so then I just took pictures off of Google Earth. And that's what I mean about Google Earth. As far as trying to build something from scratch that you can get plenty of photos from, it's the best tool in the world. And people should use it more, really. So basically it's a evergreen styrene building, and it's got the brick is a cardboard paper veneer, and so is the siding. It's all so the outside of the building is all paper, except for the windows are all plastic. The doors are plastic, and then the roof is actually paper shingle roof too. So you can download. I don't remember the website. I got the paper stuff from.
Don't tell me the website where you got the paper shingles, or we're gonna have to dial up.
Yeah, I know it. No, but they got all kind of stuff, nice stuff on
really?
it. You can
you
do.
Gotta think, man. Think. We gotta.
I gotta. Let me.
I see plenty of smoke.
Let me bust over to the guy that told me about it, and then I'll see if he still has it on here.
All right.
I got a long list of stuff that he sent me here.
All right. I see plenty of smoke.
But ask Mark a question while I'm looking.
I will. I'm gonna. What's wrong with Don, Mark? That's the question I would ask you.
I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out for quite a few years now.
One track mind.
Yeah.
One track, literally.
Yeah, literally one track mind. So you're late.
I found it.
All right, cool.
There you go.
So it's teamtrackmodels.com.
All right, I'm going to look this up. Here we go again. Oh, my God. Here we go again. Teamtrackmodels.com. Are you doing this too, Bruce? Bruce is left again.
Bruce is on mute.
Bruce is on mute again. How does he keep hitting the on mute button?
I think last time I hit because I was coughing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
Okay,
enough.
I've heard of these guys.
I've never seen it. I haven't seen
they got some neat stuff.
Yeah, you can buy stuff that got some freebies as well, if I believe.
Yep.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sending the message again. I'm saying, have you heard of Team Track Model?
Poor Tony.
Yeah. Well, we're going to end up filling up a magazine, 1 month's magazine for him.
Stuff we learned on AML.
Yeah, stuff we learned on. Yeah, that could be a whole column. That could be a whole page. Stuff I learned on the AML. I love that. See, I knew you guys would be useful for something. It only took me 4 hours of podcasting.
And we finally got there.
Yeah, exactly. So there.
I can edit it all down and be like a 10 minute
thing. Oh, he's not answering this one as quickly. He doesn't want to see this one. So for those,
maybe it's the end of the next episode of
yes,
All the Family.
So for those folks who didn't get a chance to listen to the other What's Happening with Mark and Don, halfway through we started talking about a company that made backgrounds called Lark Products, LARC Products, and so then I said, I sent a message to Tony, have you ever heard about it? And he's like, no. And then we got him on here. I told him to get out of his chair and everything. But now it's a little later, and he's not answering me this time. I've never seen this place either. And what is it? Downloadable paper model kits for scale railroad buildings. Download, print, and build.
Yep.
This is your favorite thing, Bruce.
It is, and I say now that I've seen them, I've heard of them before. In fact, I think at one time for a while that set of yard buildings they had that up for a freebie somewhere, because I think I've downloaded that, and I know several other people were asking about it, and I sent them that way.
We should interview these guys, because I bet there's a lot of people that would get into this. There's building paper models, and it's basically, and you know who is our buddy of ours who does it is Joe D'Amato.
Joe D'Amato does, yep.
Yeah.
We have another guy in our group, Mike King. He uses those paper models a lot. He does. That's how we found out about it.
Man, there's a ton of stuff, and it's a really good website. I highly recommend everybody go to Team Track Models, teamtrackmodels.com. You can't get any simpler than that. We are two brothers who love model railroading and making things out of paper. We live in Eugene, Oregon. So we'll have to send Kelly up there to check them out. Our goal is to create versatile, detailed, craftsman-style, downloadable paper model kits for model railroaders for building, transportation, scratch builder textures and most popular scales. Wow, they got every scale under the sun listed. Although we're a young company, we have a complete line of over 160 textures, many building models, lots of semi-trailer models. We got to talk to these guys. We have got to talk to these guys. Add them to the list, Bruce.
Okay.
I'm going to take you know what? I have another list where I haven't even, this is ridiculous. Why did I ever start doing this? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Oh, my goodness gracious. Thanks a lot. I wanted to talk to you guys for a couple more minutes to cover a couple of things, and all you'd end up doing was giving me more work to do.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. No, seriously, you two guys are a pain in the butt.
We try.
Yeah. Don't take it personally. It's just, I'm just stating facts. All right. That's the end of this segment. It's, I'm sure it's on a All-Star Variety Hour. So we're going to go from one segment to the other. Mark, do you know what you have to do?
I do.
All right. Excellent. Go for it.
Subway chime, go.
Seth?
Lionel?
Seth?
Lionel?
I hear somebody else laughing. Did you let somebody into the studio?
That latch on the door, it doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, no. So I don't know what this is. It could be a whole episode. It could be a segment. I have no idea. But that voice you heard, that chuckling in the background you heard, is none other than our very own Scott Lister. Am I saying that right? Is it, Scott?
That is exactly the way you say it.
Okay. And I thought tonight this is a whole lineup. This is I've changed up the lines. So tonight on this segment show, whatever it is, it's me, my buddy Seth Gartner from Charlotte, North Carolina, the retired emergency room doctor. You're retired just so you could come on this show.
Second career.
Yeah, second career.
Starving.
And then you went to visit Scott Lister, and we haven't had Scott on for a while. And I thought, boom, let's get Scott on, and we can talk about your visit with Scott and whatever else we want to talk about. What do you think, Scott?
Sounds like a perfect plan.
What do you think, Seth? Is that a plan?
It's more than a plan.
So how did you guys get together?
I called up Scott because my son, who's a senior in high school, Daniel, is looking at colleges. And Scott happens to live about 15 minutes away from a very nice college in upstate South Carolina called Furman University.
Furman, okay.
So I said, hey, Scott, I'm going to be down there at Furman. I said, how far is that from you, and would you be willing to have a visitor? And graciously, he's like, 15 minutes away, give me a call when you're done, and I'll meet you at the house. So it was all it took.
And how long ago was that? That was like in early August or something, wasn't it? July?
No, it was, I think it was early August, wasn't it? I can't remember now. It wasn't very long. It was only. It was the week before the Narragates convention. Isn't that right?
The Narragates convention just happened. So.
Yeah, I thought it was the weekend right before the Narragates convention.
So it wasn't that long ago.
Nah, it's not long ago.
It was
a month ago. 5 weeks.
Yeah, less than a year. And more than a couple of days. Somewhere in there.
Exactly.
So, did you take your son with you to Scott's house, or did you leave him at the college, or how did that work?
Well, I even took my wife, so all three of us went over. And they're like, "Where are we going?" Said we got a very important person to meet.
Just going to some guy's house.
Yeah. So we found our way around a mountain from the university over there. And, actually got stuck in the library at the university because this torrential thunderstorm came in and lasted about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
And finally, rain let up enough that we made our way back to the visitors area, and they said, "Okay, have a nice day. That was the end of your tour." And it's like, cool.
So I see, I see Greenville. So where exactly in Greenville, South Carolina is about what, an hour and a half southwest of Charlotte, sort of.
Probably.
Yeah, that's about right. Yes.
Yeah.
Depends on the construction on I-85. It can be a killer.
Yeah, not quite halfway to Atlanta from Charlotte.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and for those of you who from around the world, Charlotte, North Carolina is towards the east coast of the United States. Atlanta is in Georgia, and they're not that far apart. So okay, so so you just showed up with your son and your wife. And did you leave them in the car, or did they get to come in?
Not at all. Scott's very generous. He's a Southern gentleman. He's like, "Come on in," and he introduced himself and opened the door, and everybody got to be exposed to that thing called S scale.
S scale. Did it look as spectacular in person as it does in the pictures?
In fact, it's better. Pictures are very focused. You have what you're looking at, what you're focusing on. It's a small vignette, a scene that you're doing. I don't think Scott's ever posted a picture of the overall layout room. Have you?
Because it's kind of really hard to do, like you said. You'd have to really stand back to do it, and I really, I haven't really gotten a place I can stand back because my layout's kind of in the middle of the room almost.
And I think, Scott, one time you sent me a picture, kind of a panoramic, or 2 or 3 pictures that I could stitch together to get a feel for it.
Yeah, I've done that before, right?
Yeah. All right.
It was a fun discovery. So you're looking at scenes and you recall the photos that he's posted, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember this. And then you see how it flows right into the next, and it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that'd be neat. Yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. Well, I've been to your house, Seth, but I am coming back. It's very in the near future. I bought myself some nice cruising wheels, so I'm going to be making some stops around the North America, and so get ready, Scott.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay.
What we'll do, we'll go take a motor car ride over in North Carolina, a speeder ride.
Where?
That would be a fun day.
I know a guy that has a speeder.
That would be fun if the 3 of us went over. What's it called, Seth?
Called the Red Springs and Northern Railroad.
And it has about 13 miles of trackage.
Correct. Outside of Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Which is about 2 hours east of where you are.
Right. 100 miles.
And yet, when I drive back and forth to Florida, I pass within, maybe a couple, 3 miles of your house?
Yeah, at most.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of rude of me to keep driving past your house. But I do the same thing to Jim Sacco because I go through Carnegie, which is a suburb of Pittsburgh, and I go right by his place.
Hey, Jim, hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling better too, Jim. But one time I called him, I started out at a weird time on my way to Florida, and I was going through Pittsburgh around dinner time. And I called him up when I was about an hour away from Pittsburgh. I said, hey, you want to go to dinner? And he goes, well, I'm not in Toronto. And I said, oh, I know. I'm headed towards Pittsburgh. And he goes, like, now? You want to have dinner now? And I said, well, in about an hour, yeah. and the best part was I got him to pay.
There you go. That's the best part.
Yeah, exactly. So, Scott, what's been going on with all these conventions that's been going on around you?
Wow. We've had some around here, that's for sure. They had the Narrow Gauge convention, what was it, 2 weeks ago? And then the Southeast Regional Convention this past weekend.
Right.
So they had the Narrow Gauge Convention in Hickory, North Carolina.
Yeah. Yep. That's the second time it's been there.
Really?
Second time in 8 years.
Yep.
Did you go, Seth?
I did not attend it physically, but I was open for tours 3 of the 4 days. So
really?
I had about 65 people come through my basement checking out my railroad.
Okay, so they're not narrow-minded where it's only narrow gauge layouts they want to see.
Somehow we ended up enticing people to come. So
yeah,
it was fun.
There's a lot of people. They just love the scale part of railroading, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So how many visitors do you think you got, Scott?
I had over 50 this past Saturday and Sunday.
And what about the narrow? Were you on the narrow?
No, I wasn't open for that.
How come it's in Hickory? I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but all I think of is, when I think Hickory, North Carolina, I think Hickory Speedway. That's about all I can do.
Well, I think the problem there is no one volunteered to do it, and this guy, he wanted there to be a narrow gauge convention, so he volunteered again because, people have to do it like a 2 year in advance.
So the Southeast Narrow Gauge Railroad Museum is in Hickory, or just south. It's Newton, North Carolina.
Right.
And Hickory is close to where the East Tennessee and Western North Carolina Narrow Gauge Railroad ran.
Oh, really?
Bringing iron ore. Yeah, I think it went through the mountains, even if I'm not mistaken, into Tennessee.
Right.
And they bring iron ore down to the southern line in North Carolina. So there is a presence of narrow gauge. And there is a steam locomotive operation, which is purely tourism outside of Blowing Rock. And it's the Tweetsee, which is the colloquial name for East Tennessee and Western North Carolina. Also known as the Eat Taters and Wear No Clothes Railroad.
There you go.
All right, that was a lot of information in a short period of time. The one thing I did pick up was Blowing Rock, which actually NASCAR doctor and commentator and announcer Jerry Punch lived there for a while. So
beautiful place.
So I found it. So now here, right off the bat, we've barely got started, and I've learned something already. The Southeast Narrow Gauge and Short Line Museum in Newton, North Carolina. I never even knew of this place, and it's got must be pretty good because it's got a 4.7 Google rating with 68 reviews. Holy mackerel! Don't you guys? And it's just outside of Hickory.
Yep.
Just
Matt Baumgartner is running that place. He's doing a nice job. They actually found some old narrow gauge boxcars from Tweetsy and have brought them back there and restored some of them.
And where was the Tweetsy? I've heard of the Tweetsy. Where was it?
I'll have to look that up totally to see where it goes. It used to go up to the Cranberry iron ore mines in North Carolina.
Right. Okay.
They'd bring iron ore down to the Southern Railroad interchange, but I don't remember where that was.
You guys are just a fountain of information. The Southeast Narrow Gauge and Short Line Museum is in Newton. It's at the Newton Depot. Is it big? Like, do they have how big is it?
It would be small.
Yeah,
it's nothing like East Broad Top or anything of that nature.
No,
but it's nice.
It is a nice place.
It would be very cool if they we got the East Broad Top going again. Holy mackerel! There's been noises about. I don't think they've really made any headway, have they?
No.
And it was in Pennsylvania, was it not?
Yep.
All right. So the Narrow Gauge Convention came to Hickory, and you had people visiting your layout from the Narrow Gauge Convention, Seth?
Yeah, they do an interesting schedule for the day. Clinics are in the morning after breakfast and stop at noon. And then from noon till about 6, they have siesta time or home tour time. So you can drive around self-guided from their information booklets. And the circle or the radius that people go to was from Western Tennessee. I think they went over to Lou Sassy's place, which is almost over to Cary, Hillsborough area. Certainly around my place, and then it went out west in North Carolina pretty far too. So
I didn't know I didn't know Lou Sassy lived down there. I'm sorry. One guy, what? I cut you off there.
Oh, at the end of my day, one guy showed up by himself, and he's like, "Oh, you probably want to close your doors." And he ended up staying about an hour talking, and it was funny. It was a pretty good time.
I didn't know Lou Sassy lived down there.
Yeah.
Have you ever met him?
Well, I have. That's how I actually got into Model Railroad magazine. He came over for a regional NMRA convention we had and toured a couple railroads, one of which was mine, took some photos and showed him some people at Kalmbach, and they said, yeah, we'll use that. So they approved him as a freelance photographer to take more photos, and came back about 2 years later, and we did it.
And wow. And when was your layout in the magazine?
Summertime of 2018.
Okay, so just recently. I remember August. That. Yeah, just like 3-4 years ago. The year, Scott, your layout should be in the magazine. Your layout should be it should be published somewhere.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do. Well, I know. Yeah, I know. And I got I got an eyewitness right here.
All right.
Actually, Seth didn't have to go. His son didn't have to go to that college at all. I just begged him. I said, "Can you just go over and check out Scott's place and see if he's
okay."
Feeling it out.
Did you have visitors, Seth, for the Southeast Regional?
No, they didn't come up this way.
Okay.
We're actually in the Mid-East region of the NMRA, so I guess they felt there was a dotted line.
Okay. So, and then where was the Southeast Regional held, Scott?
The Hilton in Greenville.
Oh, okay. So it was like right there.
Yeah, 10 minutes from my house, actually.
Is that the same region that Florida's in?
That's Sunshine, isn't it?
That's Sunshine.
That's the Sunshine region. That's
right. We're in the Palmetto, whatever.
Yeah.
Southeast. I don't know all that.
No,
believe me. I try hard, but not hard enough. I did give a clinic at the convention.
Did you?
Yeah, sure did. That was a bad mistake. I'll never do that again.
Why?
I walk into a room with 50 people, and they're just standing there, and I'm supposed to tell them the history of the Greenville Northern Railroad, which I know pretty well, but when you have that many people just staring at you, it's oh man, it's tough. I'm telling you. But I did pretty good with it, though. Most people came up afterwards and said it was okay. So
that's what they said. That was okay.
Okay,
you're being humble.
I'm being very humble. They were like, man, when we go to National, you're going to give this same clinic, and I'm like, nope, I don't think so.
Well, you did a good job, and you're on here. And I'm assuming while you were giving the clinic, you were wearing your Modeler's Life T-shirt.
Oh, without a doubt.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, you would be amazed how many people have not heard AML that now know. I mean, I told hundreds of people about it.
I bet I should have given you some buttons. I should have given you some buttons.
You should have.
I should have.
We're going to have a lot of new listeners here in the next few broadcasts.
But didn't you say you had like 50 people come to your house and like 10 of them knew about the podcast? Yeah,
10 did know, and then the rest, I think a couple said they had heard of it, but hadn't really listened to it, but they all know about it now.
Well, but I was thinking that's 20% of the people that came to your house. I think that's a pretty good number.
That is a good number. There were people here from Florida, which was odd. One guy from Florida broke down in my driveway, and I had to...
You mean like emotionally, or his car?
No, his car broke down. Yeah, he had called a tow truck, and I told him, I said, just leave it, and we'll fix it in the morning, because I thought it was the alternator, but it ended up being just needing a new battery. But he wasn't so sure if I might know how to work on cars. So I said, I promise you, I know what I'm doing here. You know,
I think that's a safe assumption.
Then I took him by the shop. I went and picked him up at the... I went and picked him up at the motel Sunday morning, and I said, I got to run by and get the battery tester. And he said, where's that at? And I said, it's over at my second hobby. And I carried him by there, and it took me about 2 hours to
get him out of there. Hey, that pickup truck you took your daughter to the wedding in.
Oh, man, that's a beauty, isn't it?
Yeah. How much is that? How much can I buy that for?
His daughter's not for sale.
Yeah, very nice one.
I'll set you up with a really nice price for that.
All right. But it was automatic, wasn't it?
No, that's 3 on the tree.
3 on the tree? Oh, okay.
Yep.
And I kind of got my eye on that old Chevy back there. That's I was thinking we should send that out to. I would prefer a Ford, but I've always had a soft spot for those 68, 67 Chevy pickups.
Yeah, it could be turned into a really nice truck. I just don't have time to do it right now.
Well, I know, but
I would do it for you.
I got a guy.
I know you do. Probably ought to send Adam over this way, and me and him will build you a real good one.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Did you get to see the shop, Seth?
I did not. That is on my next trip to Greenville, and I told him I was going to come back.
Yeah.
Threatened him.
Yeah. Have you invited Scott over to your house for an operating session yet?
He did, and I bailed on him because I was in Florida.
Again?
We'll get him there.
I'll be there. Now I'm free with weddings and whatever else I was doing. Yeah. I'm free from here on. So
when's the next wedding?
I'm hoping a while. She's just getting ready to go to college.
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
hoping. Yeah.
Yeah, we should have had them all wearing AML buttons, we decided, didn't we?
That's exactly what we should have been doing.
All right, Seth. So I want you to try to describe to us, because I got a feeling. I mean, Seth. You are an exquisite modeler. You have a beautiful layout. So you understand quality. And I got a feeling that Scott's layout is kind of like jaw-dropping.
And even before you reach the railroad itself, it's just such a beautiful presentation in his basement, from his red floors, and it's just a very refined place to present the railroad. I commend you on that one, Scott.
Well, I appreciate that.
It looks wonderful. But to come into it and see it, as an HO scale model, you look at it and it's like, this is nice, this is big. And suddenly it's like I can see things.
Yeah.
Which is a real treat.
Yeah.
For somebody who takes the time to model down to the details of putting flowers inside the tires at the end of the driveway and the dogs playing with bones next to the engine block that has been taken out of a car next to the trailers. It's fun. I mean, the longer you take, the deeper you dive, the more you see, and it just makes you smile.
And do you like you come into like a separate entrance in the basement, or do you come right through the kitchen, or like how do you get there?
It would be a basement door entrance.
Okay.
Come past the boat, keep going down the hallway, and then it opens up into a very nice room.
Okay. What kind of truck is Scott driving? What did you see? What did you see in the driveway? Scott's got to be driving.
That I did.
Oh, okay. You drive a pickup truck, don't you, Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What? It's
Chevrolet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Silverado, probably.
Yep.
What color? Don't tell me silver.
No, it's white. It's the only one they had on the lot last year. So, because I had this guy from way down south total my SUV this past spring. He ran into the back of me and kind of kept going. Yeah, he totaled my car and he kept going.
Well, yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know about that. When did all this happen? Why are you not telling us this stuff?
I thought I told you that.
No,
I thought I sent you a picture of it.
No, you never even sent me a picture of it. So some guy piled into the back of your SUV?
Yeah, he was a legal guy, and I was sitting at a red light, and all of a sudden, a big full-size Chevy van just rammed right into the back of me.
Holy moly!
Full speed.
Wow!
She pushes me out into the intersection and almost turns me over. And I was like, wow, I can't believe this just happened. And I look at his van, it's tore all to pieces. And then I noticed the brake, because when he hit me, he kind of passed by.
Right.
And I noticed the brake on the taillights were, he had the brake on, and all of a sudden they went out, and then I saw the van limping off, and he just disappeared out into a neighborhood, and no one at all went after him or chased him. So he got away with it.
Really?
No kidding.
Yeah, I had to settle with my insurance, which you know how that is. That's a nightmare.
Yeah. So the cops didn't catch him or nothing?
No, never did. And you know what? There's cameras at that intersection. It's at a pretty well-traveled intersection. And there's cameras everywhere. And I said, well, what are those cameras there for? And he said, they're for monitoring. I said, okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what they monitored. And he said, no, only when they want to do it, they'll look at them. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Jeez.
So we have all these cameras, and they're not really recording. They're just so they can monitor when they want to.
But you weren't hurt, though, eh?
It hurt my wrist that I broke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I had to go through all that again. That was really bad.
So, jeez. Were you by yourself?
Yep. I just left my office. It was just like a mile from my office. It's terrible.
Yeah, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me about it, because I would have remembered after you busted your wrist that you got smacked. So yeah, you didn't tell me about it. Of course, you're probably dizzy by that point.
Oh yeah, wow, it was terrible. But anyway, I had to get another truck, so the only one they had was a white one.
Yeah. So how's your wrist these days?
It's okay right now. My thumb's still giving me a little bit of problem. I was talking to my wife tonight. I probably need to go back over there to get some therapy done on it.
I know a doctor.
I do too. A good one too.
All right. So we should. But I will say that the presentation of your layout, Seth, is also very. It's in a great area in your house. The whole area is finished and everything. It's beautiful. It must be a thing. It must be. I bet you it would be cool if we could organize some sort of an AML thing down there, and because there's a ton of layouts and stuff to see down there.
Oh, there is. It'd be a fun place to have AML.
Yeah.
get together.
It would be. We got to start working on those things. All right. So, okay, you walk in the room. You kind of like the presentation is spectacular. What size would you say the room was? Did it seem like really big to you, or Seth?
I wouldn't say huge. How big is it, Scott? Maybe 25 feet?
Yeah, well, it's like 27 by 27, and that one wall's 38 foot into that one room. It's kind of an L shape, Lionel.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like a square room, 27 by 27, and then there's a 14 by 16 room, I believe it is. Yeah.
Okay.
On one side of it. Yeah,
it's all open to you. It's continuous.
Yeah.
So you can start working your way around, and his layout actually is a walk around and inside. So you can entertain following the tracks, seeing where it leads to you, and go around the corner, so to speak. Then the other cool thing is on his walls, he's got all the maps of the railroad, historical maps, right?
Yeah. 1918s when they were printed.
So once again, the function of the railroad is to present the history of the railroad to the visitors to come learn about it. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
It seems to me, I remember that the Greenville and Northern wasn't particularly long, and you can try to kind of model in a compressed state. You can pretty much model the whole thing.
Almost. Originally it was 22 miles, and by the 1960s it dropped back to about 12 miles, and that's the 12 miles I model.
Okay.
Because it intersected with the Southern and the Piedmont Northern.
And the tie-in there, the Piedmont Northern came up to Charlotte.
Right.
It was about 4 miles from my house.
Yeah.
Which was an electric railroad run by Duke Electric. They had an electric railroad servicing mills and things of that nature.
Right.
I think it seems to me like that whole Charlotte to Atlanta, that whole southeast corner is pretty active in the hobby, is it not?
Pretty much.
No.
It's sporadic. It's not like up your way.
You're right. The Northeast, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and that area has a much greater density of railroaders.
Right. And yet, though, like Scott was always mentioning this guy and that guy that's either in Asheville or Greenville, and then you got Columbia, and I mean, you got a bunch of guys around you, or Charlotte, you got a bunch of guys around you.
Sure.
And I know there's a fair whack of guys in Atlanta.
Sure. Yeah, there was a lot of guys from Atlanta this past weekend.
So how did they? So the convention how many people went to the convention?
There were about 200.
Really?
Yeah, it was. There should have been more, but the COVID thing kind of had a lot of people drop out.
Yeah,
so.
But also you end up with a pretty good crowd. I think people are starting to lose interest in COVID.
Yeah, in a major way.
So then you did a clinic. Was this the first time you ever did a clinic?
Yeah, and probably the last time I ever.
No, don't say that.
No, I did. It was pretty good because I did the history of the Greenville Northern. You know, like from its beginning, from the Charleston and Western all the way up to Greenville. You know, Greenville was the first, or South Carolina was the first place that had a branch line, first place that had a junction. And what else was the first thing? Well, the first place to have a steam engine in the United States. So
really
pretty neat. Yeah, it's a pretty cool area here.
It is a neat area. I mean, I've been through there a couple of times. It's kind of it's neat because it's like not super populated, and it's kind of out in the, it's on the edge of the Appalachians, or kind of in the Appalachians. I mean, it's just a beautiful.
Yeah, the foothills.
Yeah, foothills.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because the Greenville Northern was actually started to bring coal down from like Knoxville area for our textile mills, but it never happened. Couldn't get over the mountain.
All right, Scott, I'm going to put you on the spot here, and I want you to try to give me an honest answer because,
oh boy,
because based on what Seth just said and everything, I mean, people must have been kind of like awestruck by your layout, were they?
They were amazed the detail. I will say that.
So you had a quarter of the conventionees.
Yeah.
Tour your place.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I did. It was really well. I think because I was open Friday, not that many came, but after my clinic, I think everyone in the clinic came.
And did you use a combination of photos from the layout and real life photos for your clinic?
I did. I had over 150 photos in my clinic.
So you probably did the same thing that I did when I first started doing clinics. You got like way too many.
Oh yeah, they came in and told me I had to stop. They said you're out of time, and I'm like, huh?
Can you speak faster, Scott?
Yeah, no, you hear how fast I'm speaking? Oh boy.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I remember when I first started doing clinics. I had like 80 or 90 slides or something like that. And of course, a typical clinic is an hour and you can take 10 minutes off of that. So you're looking at 50 minutes. And I remember I'm getting to the, 15 minutes left and I still got another 60 slides to go. And I'm like, click, 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 click,
Yeah, that's the way I was. Well, see, I started out telling them the history of the railroads in South Carolina. I started noticing I was losing them. And I said, I got to do something. So I started going right into constructing the layout because it was the history of the railroad and then building the Greenville Northern layout. So I started combining the history of the railroad with the construction of my layout. And that seemed to get them pretty back into it,
Yeah, it's hard when you realize you're losing.
Yeah, you can tell it real easy. Yeah. And it was like within 5 minutes. I said, "Oh no."
Oh.
But I got them back. They stayed pretty at the edge of their seat there at the end. So.
Okay. Have you ever done a clinic, Seth?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What have you done yours on?
I've done it on steel mill modeling.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
Yeah.
If I ever do another clinic, it will be on something modeling, not out there prototype. I think I can do very good telling someone how to build a model versus telling someone the history of a model.
Yeah, that's true.
People like histories.
They do. You got to be able to combine weed it together, bring it in together. It works pretty good. But I wasn't prepared and I didn't practice. And I was terrified that the PowerPoint was going to fail or there'd be pictures out of sequence. But it all went really smooth. So,
your stuff.
So, as a host, Scott, when you had people coming through, what was your favorite part of having people come through your railroad?
How many people like Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi over regular? and some people didn't want ice, and some people wanted ice. And there's a lot of people that don't like donut holes, but they love cheese balls. I don't understand it. But no, the best part is when people come over, I guess to watch them walk around and really enjoy the models that I had the most fun building, Yeah. Because the questions they ask about, like, why did you put studs on the inside? You can't see it unless you take the roof off. And I said, well, I'm OCD and I'm not sure why I did that. But that's probably the best part's just watching the people walk around and look at it.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. And you can see them looking at things that you don't think are interesting, but you'll see somebody stop and look at a particular spot and you're thinking, well, that's nothing. And then
exactly.
And then things you're thinking people are for sure going to look at, they kind of walk right past.
Yeah, you got to bring them back. Hey, did you notice this?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Did you convert any people to S-scale?
There was a couple probably. I had a doctor from Atlanta. His name's Little Joe. You know him, I think, don't you? It's a father and son. They're both named Joe. One's Big Joe and one's Little Joe. But he was telling me I need to do the merit.
Golden Spike.
Yeah, for proto modeling because of the way my scene. Because see, I have a little magnet at each scene, and I stick a picture there, so it's the photo of the scene I'm modeling, and you could actually look at the scene in real life and then look at the model I'm building, and he thought I was doing really good with that.
So, like, where's the magnet on the front of the layout?
On the facial, yeah. I have them scattered around, and I put little magnets to hold the photo up where if you walk around, you can see. I didn't have that up when Seth was over here, but
you showed me a few pictures.
Yeah, I did show you some.
But some on the wall, even.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
That's what I said. Scott's reproducing the history. He's keeping the history alive of that railroad.
Yeah,
you need to have this published so that more of the world can see it. I mean,
the only thing I ever had published is those crossings I built for the S-scale resource. That's it.
Well, you got to get more of this stuff published because this is what you're doing is fantastic. I mean,
I know Otto. He wanted me to write an article for those mobile homes I built, and I just hadn't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah, Otto would love this stuff. Otto, make sure you mention me in the article.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Believe me.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it a kit bash or is total scratch build?
Total scratch build.
Have you kit bashed anything? Have you built a kit out of anything?
Oh, that was the neat thing. People were asking how many actual kits were on the layout, and I said there's actually 5 structures that I built from kit, and then the rest of them are all scratch built.
And when you say from kit, did you build them just strictly as the kit said, or did you embellish them?
I embellished them.
There you go.
Yeah, in a major way.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
How you just like Scott, Seth? Scott just kind of like amazes me. Like I just don't even know. Like he's such a great modeler. You seem to have a handle on the wiring. I mean, and then he builds all these cool custom cars just for fun. I mean, holy mackerel. You're kind of one of those kind of guys that could be kind of annoying if you're not careful.
Yeah. My wife says I am.
After how many years of marriage?
30.
There you
go. And who's that woman I keep seeing in all those photos?
Oh, I don't, man. That's close, wasn't it?
Yeah. You put up on August the 30th, 2020, August 3rd, 2020, you put a plan up that you drew. And I can see now how it's like a walk around and it's also in the room. And how does it have 2 lift bridges or just 1?
2. Actually, that's what I was doing tonight. I tore the one out and I'm rebuilding it. I don't like a bridge that lifts up and sticking straight up in the air, So all mine are now fold down bridges. They fold straight down to the floor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just finished one up and I got the one over, the bigger one I'm getting ready to start tomorrow.
Do you ever just, now it's a continuous run, so do you ever just kind of go in the room and just let the trains run around while you're working on something?
Oh, man. Yeah, I did that actually Sunday night after during the tour I had it running continuously, but I do that a lot. I enjoy it.
Yeah. What kind of operating, what's your electronic operating system?
NCE.
Okay. What do you use, Seth?
Digitrax.
Okay. You guys didn't get in some sort of a dust-up because you're each using a different kind or something.
We both respect each other.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Now, Scott, are you ever planning on doing, operations or anything?
I don't really know. I like operations. I'm not really sure how my layout would do for operations. I only have 4 industries on it, so.
And it would do fine.
Yeah,
you're not going to have 12. You're not going to have 12 people in there, but you and 3 other great friends are going to have 3 or 4 hours of fun running the line in a prototypical manner.
Yeah, I think it would be. I do it myself. I go pick the cars up down at the Piedmont yard and then go drop them off where they need to go. It's a fun. I could spend several hours doing it.
Are you familiar with a guy named Jared Harper?
I've heard that name.
He lives in Georgia, I think Athens, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
He models the Santa Fe Alma branch, and it's like a little quiet branch line that he models, and he'll have, I think, 3 other operators that come in, and they run it for about 3 hours, and everybody has a great time. Operations doesn't mean 12 people, 20 trains, and timetables and things going all over. So I think you could entertain people very easily, Scott.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try and see what happens. I got a few little bugs to work out. Once I do that, I'll probably do that.
Is your track hand laid? I don't remember. I think it is. It's all hand laid, isn't it?
Yes,
it is.
Yeah, it is.
And
beautiful.
Every tie is spiked or something.
Yeah, every single tie.
Holy mackerel!
12,000 spikes.
Beautiful.
And the only way I know that is because I know how many spikes I bought.
We got to figure out a way for people. We got to figure out a way for people to see. Man, we should do like a lower 48 tour or something, because we have so many people in the AML Nation that are great modelers.
We do. It's unbelievable.
I know. I was talking to Tracy Boyd, the official flight attendant of the AML network, and she saying she wants to get Adam's place in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, we all want to do that.
Yeah.
Disney.
I just saw somebody was out there. Who was it? Frischella?
Oh, was he? Yeah.
Frischella?
No.
Yeah, post a picture.
Wasn't it Frischella or was it Art Dutra? Who's I think Art was out there. I don't know.
I thought it was Frischella. He said he stopped by and
I thought it was Bob. He wasn't home.
Adam. Yeah, okay. Adam was out saving lives or something like that.
And he just stopped by and started taking pictures. I'll bet.
Yeah.
So Scott, you could just leave your basement door open and people could just kind of wander through.
Yeah. That would be neat.
Yeah, your wife would love you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, she doesn't care. As long as they don't come wandering upstairs, she's all right with it.
Well, she doesn't really want you wandering upstairs. So.
No, she likes the basement because that's where I'm at all the time.
All right, Seth. So then, what did you see first, the layout or the workshop?
I saw the layout first, but I have to tell you, the workshop might have blown me away even more than the layout. Beautiful, comfortable, everything organized, well lit, space. He's doing it right there, and that's why he created a great railroad, because he's got such a fabulous place to be able to create and build in.
And how big?
Well, thank you.
How big is the workshop, roughly?
40 by 60. I don't know.
No, it's 14 by 14.
Okay, so it's a good size then.
Yeah,
but it's well laid out. Right. It's like a hobby shop too.
Oh, he really is. He's one of those guys. I think
he's such a scratch builder. You got to be able to organize all your materials.
Yeah, I think everybody's got a hobby shop of one sort or another in there. Man, I don't know. I got to stop doing this podcast. It's too much work.
Good idea.
I don't know if it was or not, because I always have so many questions. Like I'm just looking at your photos on your Facebook page while we're doing this. And then I see you doing some basic scenery, with a screen over a wire and the air conditioner. Holy mackerel. Where was that? Let me just go back to that. And you got some cars you're painting and they're hanging upside down on pegboard.
Yeah.
In his custom built
workshop.
Air booth.
I was showing how I made these handles to hold the car while I paint them, and then they can hang while they dry.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay. What are the handles made out of?
Just old scrap sheet metal.
Okay. And they're not sharp or anything?
No.
Yeah, so let's try to describe this. So what you've done is you've taken an old piece of scrap sheet metal that's probably, these are S-scale boxcars that I'm guessing are 40 feet long.
No, those are 50-footers.
All right, so 50 scale feet in S-scale. And you could have taken a piece of scrap steel. It's about an inch wide, I'm guessing.
Yep.
And then you attach them to the bolster, like you just with a screw or something.
Right, with the same screw that holds the wheel set in.
Yeah, and then you just then you got a strap to hold.
It's like a handle, and you just sit there and spray paint the box car, and then I hang it and let it dry.
So, do you have like some way of turning it in the spray booth?
Yeah, I have a Lazy Susan in there. But what I do is I have a piece of 2-inch pink insulation, and I cut a little rectangle out of the center of it, and that'll stick right down in there, and it's kind of stand freely straight up. No, and then you can. Yeah, I've lost you, haven't I?
Yeah, you've lost
me. Yeah. All right. Well, imagine a little piece of square insulation,
right?
Pink insulation, and I cut a rectangle out all the way through it.
Yeah.
And then that little strap I made will fit down in that rectangle, the hole, and it will stand up on its own to where I can spray it. And then when I'm done, and a lot of times I'll just hold it and spray it and then set it in there. But you know what a Lazy Susie is, right?
Yeah.
And it sets on there, and you can spin it around and paint wherever you want. And then
but the handle's holding the car upside down. So I mean, you either have to somehow.
Well, you can turn it over and stand it straight up, and it sticks down in the foam.
The foam base gives you a base.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I see.
Yeah, I know that was a poor, very bad description of how I do that.
Very bad. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I am really disappointed in that.
I'm more than disappointed.
Sure, we can get over this.
I don't know.
I don't know how we will.
Do you belong to NMRA, Scott?
I do.
You should try. You should try being an AP guy. Doing your what does AP stand for?
MMR.
MMR. Yeah, you should try doing that. You'd get that, no problem at all.
Well. That's another story.
Why is that another story?
Well, I went to the show to register this weekend because I'm one of those ones that registers at shows. I'm not a pre-register kind of guy.
Right.
And a guy I know was there. I can't remember his name. I know of him. He said, "Hey, can you bring some of your models to enter the contest? Because we're really needing models." I said, "Oh, okay." So I came home. Got a couple wooden cabooses I built, a couple structures carried back over there, and this guy's sitting over, and he says, I said, "Okay, I want to put these in the contest." And he says, "Okay, you got your forms?" And I said, "What forms?" And he says, "Well, you need the form 9236 and the form IRT." And I said, "Whoa, wait a minute." I said, "All I want them to do is people to see them." He said, "Oh, you want to just show only then?" I'm like, or display only. And then I had to fill out a form 43D or what, I don't know. But anyway, it's all about the paperwork, and it discouraged me a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way. I can't stand the paperwork. It's like if I wanted to be in the hobby for, it's like a timetable and train order operations. If I wanted to model paperwork, I'd just do a scale model of my business.
Well, see, I was going to fill them out there because it asks you to just describe how you built the model and what you used.
Right.
And I said, I can do that. And I had one filled out, and then I saw a guy I know walk in, and he had done his on the computer, so it was all nice and neat. And I'm like, this scratch, I like chicken scratch on. I'm not doing it. So anyway, mine were just for display only, no contest.
Have you ever been to an RPM meet?
No, I have entered a contest, one of my RS1s, and the the National S Gauge convention, and I did win that one. They didn't have quite as many forms to fill out.
But I mean, S gaugers, well, yeah, because there's a lot of guys like Ostertag and Spoon is in it, right? And it's like,
Ziska.
Yeah.
Zeska.
That guy's trouble. Neither one of those, I think, they have trouble filling out their name. But RPM meets is all about just displaying your wear. So they have an RPM meet, Seth, anywhere in the Southeast? There's one in
Savannah.
Yeah, where's that? In
Savannah.
That's right. They have one in Savannah.
About 3 weeks, there's going to be one up in Winston-Salem area.
Oh, is there?
Right.
Yep.
They have one in Atlanta also, I believe, don't they? They used to.
You should go to one of those, Scott, and put your stuff out there. People go nuts for it.
Yeah, I am going to go to a few when one comes nearby again.
You ought to try it. Even though the paperwork is a pain in the butt, and I hate paperwork, your models would easily pass muster for an AP, and before you know it, you'd be an MMR, and Gordy Robinson would be thrilled because it'd be another MMR on the planet.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm looking at your spray booth, and you've got a variable, a dimmer switch on there. What's that for?
For my fan variable speed. Well, sometimes you don't want it to, suck all the paint out the spray booth. So you can set the speed of the fan so it's really exhausting or not barely at all. So I was going to say something else, but never mind.
So these freight cars you built, these 2 gondolas and the box cars, are they scratch built?
No, they're a kit from Smoky Mountain Model Works.
Okay, and where are they?
Up in Asheville.
And are they the Tamarco guys?
No, that's Hendersonville.
Oh, okay, right. So, what'd you call it? American Models?
No, it's Smoky Mountain Model Works.
Okay.
He's starting to do stuff in HO now.
Smoky Mountain Model Works. This hobby is massive.
His name's Jim King with Smoky Mountain Model Works.
And how did you meet him?
At one of our little local S-Gauge meets.
Yeah. Okay, I'm typing it in now. Let's see what comes up here. Boom, there it is. Smoky Mountain Model Works. I spelled Smoky. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, I've seen this before. He's got O scale and S scale, and he hasn't done anything yet in the lower scales. Oh, he's got HO draft gear couplers.
Yeah, he's getting ready to do some.
All right.
Isn't he the one that's making the hoppers that Josh Clark started?
I think so.
I think you're right. That's exactly right. Nice one. Nice catch, Seth.
Yeah.
Nice. Boy,
There's a photo of it right there at the bottom on his webpage.
Oh, does he? That's right. There it is.
Southern Hopper.
Yeah, Southern Hopper that our new friend Josh Clark made. I mean, that was a good interview. So Seth and I and Bruce, we interviewed this young fella named Josh Clark. And I know you're Seth and he's Josh. Josh Clark. And he's the guy that has NS Modeler 24 on YouTube. He got like 50,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Fabulous guy. Fabulous. Young guy, 27, he's a med student right now. And he's not sure.
He lives in Flat Rock, North Carolina. It's half hour north of you?
Yeah, not even that. Probably less than 25 minutes.
That's right. And when we were talking, we said that's what we said, wasn't it? That he had to hook up with Scott Lister.
Yeah, he needs to.
Yeah, and he needs to have you over for an operating session. Josh Clark, do you think Josh will ever listen to any of these podcasts, Seth?
He will eventually.
Okay, because
he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
He sounded like a great young man. He's what gets me excited about the hobby, period, because I think all those guys are finding each other. And it's like I said about Cam Neely and John Caffarelli and those guys finding each other's. And his friend, what was his friend's name? The guy that built the rotary dump? Grayson, wasn't it? Grayson.
There's a Grayson. His father helped with a rotary dumper, though.
Yeah, but I think
Grayson does a lot of the electronics behind it.
Yeah, the electronics and all that stuff. Don't ever contradict the host.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, all right, okay. Yeah. So anyway, right now on the air, Josh Clark somehow and Scott Lister need to find each other. Seth, I think you should introduce them to each other through the wonders of the internet.
Did he mention if he was a member of the Apple Valley Railroad Club?
I think they used to be, but then they decided they were going to go their own way with their own railroad.
Okay, that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, Apple Valley's nice, and there's a lot of people that participate in the hobby up there because of that. But
exactly
what Josh and his father have done goes above and beyond that. So
yeah, I'd like to meet him. I really would.
All right,
I can arrange it.
Yeah. Could you please? Could you work on that? Because I think it would be fabulous.
Yeah.
To have, then we can talk to both of those guys at the same time. There it is, the Apple Valley Model Railroad Club in Hendersonville, North Carolina. I think the hobby's very strong in your neck of the woods, you guys. I don't think because Tom Klomoski lives in the hills there east of Georgia, but he's in the Appalachians, and he's east of Chattanooga somewhat, a couple hours east. And there's a place there, Cleveland, some little place there that there's a club. I got to talk to him again. Yeah. You guys got it. You got Seth, you have got to get those two guys together.
I got to get out of the basement.
Yeah, you got to get out of the basement.
I'll work on it.
All right.
So the other thing in the model shop, Lionel, was these custom-built wooden trays that Scott puts all his projects in on the top shelf, top of the cabinet.
Oh, yeah?
And it was fun. He was showing me different ones, had the gondolas and the nice work he's done there. And it had this one that was a brass, I think it was an Alco.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably was an Alco. Yeah. RS.
I think it was a 1, yeah.
Oh, yeah? How's that? How's it going?
Not well. He sold it to me for $1.
Well, how'd you get it? I think it was supposed to be going somewhere else.
You didn't see the photos, did you?
No, I didn't. Where were they?
Oh, that AML page.
All right. There's so much stuff on that page now. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, and now that the show's over or the convention's over, I'm getting ready to sit back down at the old bench and finish up some projects, and that's one of them.
The show's over and the wedding's over and your wrist is getting better.
Yeah.
You're smacking your wrist. Guy goes on vacation the first day, busts his wrist. Smooth. Real
what
smooth.
A magical place.
A very magical place.
Yeah,
oh, it was. It was very magical.
I've been really good on this page because right now I'm scrolling through the fans page. And the second one, Mick Shea posted a picture of the AML chat, which is going on right now as we speak.
That is right.
And the next one is Walker Embry from 24 minutes ago. And he goes, if you walk the job site for hours looking for the best dirt to use, you might be a modeler. And I'm and like he was like, a year ago, he was out of the hobby. And I'm like, I remember saying to him, every time I try to get out, they drag me back in. And now he's back in there working away. Let me go. I'm going back to your page, Scott. Hang on. All right, and all this undercar detail on these gondolas that comes with the kit, but you've added the lines and all that between the brake cylinder and all that stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, but it's all there. It comes with a kit.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yeah.
All right, and what is
those are really detailed kits. They really are.
And does he make them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he makes them.
But you put them on.
Yep, I put them on.
So now I'm looking at a picture from June 10th, and it's 3, what do you call them? The switch machines, Circuitron. What are they called? I forget now. You know, the three.
Tortoise?
Yeah, Tortoise.
Tortoise, okay.
And they're sitting there with wire on them, and the wire is all curled up. Why is that?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Well,
you mean like a pigtail?
Yeah,
because he's attention to detail. Yeah. I asked the same thing.
Oh, did you? Good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the reason I do that, when I put them in, I'm not sure how much, line I'll need, or how much wire I'll need, and then it'll be there so I can stretch it over to the main bus, and I'll always have enough.
And okay, and how do you curl it up like that into a pigtail?
I got a little dowel I use and just wrap it around it a couple of times and spin it with a drill, and there it is.
Oh, really? You spin it with a drill?
Well, low speed, like
I understand. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. You should put a picture of that up because that's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, because that way, when you do run it over, it looks good under the layout and it keeps things neat.
Neat and tidy. Just like his workshop, just like everything.
Just like the layout, just like everything. Anything else we should talk to him about, Seth? Oh, yeah, I want to talk about this air conditioner. So let's see, what day was this? This was posted on May 19th, and you built some sort of a shop, and then you put the front structure on to look like brick. It's like a brick addition on this shop. What was that shop of? Do you know?
Well, that's the office to a warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the office part of it.
And you made this air conditioner.
Yeah, out of a little block of wood.
Yeah. And then you put wire in there.
Yeah, for the fan housing.
And once you painted it, for all the world, it looks like a full-blown air conditioner.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
It is cool.
That's the stuff I like doing.
Well, yeah, no kidding. It's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
Once you finish twisting your wire, you go and build a little air conditioner.
There you go. After I'm through playing with the wire, I'll go build something.
Yeah. And so did you see this somewhere, or did you just get the idea? I mean, I think a lot of us, when we're trying to build something, we'll just kind of all of a sudden an idea will pop into our heads and away you go.
Yeah, well, being in the construction world, I've seen a lot of air conditioning units on roofs.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So he's got a building under construction on his layout that shows the individual studs of the walls going up, and he's got where the water main goes through the yard out to the street to be able to get tied into the service. There's just details like that all over.
Oh. And a lot of people really enjoy that. They say that keeps the interest.
Yeah, like you need
a lot of people enjoy that.
So how often do you have visitors? Like okay, you had Seth came over. You had the Southeast region there. Like, do people?
Mr. Lister, Mr. Lister, can I come in?
Yep, come right on in.
Now you woke up the dog.
Yeah,
Maggie wound up.
Yeah.
But far as me having visitors,
yeah. Like, does anybody
very rarely?
Yeah. Does anybody outside the AML Nation even know you exist?
Yeah, I have some modeler friends around here.
Okay.
A couple older guys, and I had some visitors last night. My mom and dad came down and looked at it.
And how often has your dad seen it?
Probably about twice a year.
Okay.
Or more. He may come more.
Because it was your dad's 80th birthday.
Yep. Big 80.
Awesome.
You should see
That's awesome.
We interviewed Don Iris and Mark Herrick there the other day because I just wanted to catch up with them too. That's the problem, you see. Now that every time I interview somebody new, I got somebody else I want to catch up with. So now it's the whole thing has just become a big mishmash. And his father is 88, and there was a picture of his father, and I thought for a minute when I glanced at it, I thought it was Don, and then we got talking, and for 88, his dad looks spectacular. He looks better than I do, and I'm 22. I'm 23 years younger than the guy. I mean, holy
still strikingly good looking, but
still strikingly handsome for a man my age. There's no doubt about that.
All right.
Did you have any fun doing that clinic?
I did.
Right.
I really did. Right. I had a good time. It was the best part of it was when it was over.
Oh.
The people, the participants were really, they were very genuine.
Your mic is starting to come unplugged.
I noticed that.
Yeah. So plug it back in.
I did. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. What is that down your hallway? I see you got some display cases in your hallway.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, Chris Elliott, he's a narrow gauge guy. He built those for me, display cases, and they're really nice. I think I love them.
And what's in them?
Stuff I've built, models.
All S scale?
No, not all.
Not all. There's some HO and there's some cars.
Okay. This is a quiz, If you don't get the right answers, you're going to get a lower mark.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's HO. I have my very first train set I ever had on Earth when I was 5 years old in there.
See, I don't have my old train stuff. Do you have your old train stuff, Seth?
I do. Old Lionel.
See, I don't have any of my old stuff. I wouldn't even know. I don't even have it.
And what's even cool about that is I have my dad's train set from when he was about 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what year?
What is that?
That's
what is that?
That was like 1947, 48.
Like American Flyer?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I just got some 3-rail track to display it now. So.
Okay, here's my last questions. Oh, and you made some more of your goop. What do you your scenery goop?
Yeah, my world famous. No one likes the stuff, but I think it's the best thing since sliced bread.
And how do you make it up?
All right, you take the dust from sanding a hardwood floor. You know what I'm talking about there, right?
A hardwood floor, and you got a big power sander.
Yeah, and it just creates a big bag of dust.
Okay.
You take that dust and mix it with Well, in 5 gallons, you mix the dust, a gallon of Elmer's glue, about a quarter gallon of whatever latex paint you want to use, and then the rest water. And you mix it up with a big drill mixer, and there you go.
Now, how long?
And it'll last for months before it dries.
Really?
Yeah.
Eh?
But when you put it out on the layout, it'll dry in one night, and as hard as wood.
And how did you figure that out?
I was, well, a buddy of mine has a woodworking shop, and he's a model railroader, and he saves all his sawdust, and he was sprinkling it around his layout for just like scenery. And I said, man, that'd be neat if you mixed it in with glue and made like a paste out of it. And then the more I thought about it, I'd just finished the floor in one of my rental houses, and I had that big bag of dust, and I tried mixing it with water and glue and see what it would do, and it worked perfect. It's not messy at all. That's the great thing about it. There's no mess, and if you want to come back later and take something out, you just wet it, and it softens up, and you just pull it out. It's the best stuff to work with that I've ever seen.
Cool.
Have you ever had problems? You ever had problems with mold in it? Do you put Lysol or anything? I've heard of people doing that.
Yeah, I put a little Clorox in it, like
a
cap full.
Well, now you left that part out.
Well, I did. I'm sorry. I have an ingredient list.
Oh, do you?
But yeah, and it's not. I've done it before, and I've never had really mold grow in it. But you'll open it up sometimes, and it have an odd smell, and you just mix it up. But but if you use it really quickly out of the bucket, like if you don't have to mix 5 gallons at a time. That's just, I was doing a big area, so
you open it up and occasionally it has a bad smell.
Yeah, and
it jumps up and grabs you.
Yeah. But believe me, I've seen worse and commercial bought stuff too. So
yeah. See, and there again, you see, you got a buddy that's does a woodworking shop and has a model railroad, buddy. I'm telling you, this hobby is massive. This we have no idea.
We don't.
Now, tell me about. I want to before we go. This is your last series of questions, and then you can relax. Tell me about this Rick Cook guy. Coke. How do you spell his last name? Or say
Koch. Yeah, Coke.
Okay, Coke. All right. Tell me about this guy, because you guys have become.
He's trouble.
All right. You guys have become great friends through the podcast.
Yeah, through the podcast. He and I have become friends on Facebook, and he emails back. Actually, I talked to him yesterday.
There you go.
Yeah, and he'll call me, maybe once a week. He's a S-scale guy, switching over from HO, and he's an interesting young man. He really is.
He's a young man?
Oh, yeah, he's probably 40 years old.
Okay. So you guys met on the AML fans page. Like, did he contact you or something with questions or what?
Well, I accidentally sent him a message, and it was supposed to be going to Mike Ostertag, and it went to him. I don't know if you've ever done anything like that, but
No,
it was about a bunch of stuff I just acquired from a friend that passed away, and then he got interested in it, and that's how we pretty much become friends.
And have you guys met yet?
No.
And where does Rick live?
He lives up in Pennsylvania. He's about 40 minutes from Tom.
Okay, I think we talked about that. He's got to go over and see Tom.
Yeah.
I'd recommend that.
There's AMLers. Yeah. There's AMLers everywhere.
Yeah, I can't wait to go. He was going to Tomstock this year, but I guess we'll do it next year.
We'll do it next year. Yeah, we were talking about that today. I want to go for a ride on a Bud car. It's now basically 4 days of peace, love, and little trains.
Yeah, so I need to take a whole week off of retirement, right?
Yeah. You need to take book a week off retirement.
All right, I'll do that.
So there's got to be more to Rick than just you met by accident and he bought stuff off you. Think you guys?
Well, he really hadn't bought anything from me. He's acquired about stuff, but he makes. He's a doer. He likes to design stuff and build things. So,
and would we find him anywhere on the internet? Any pictures? Because I sent him a message. I don't know, a month or so ago, said, "Hey, we got to get you on the podcast with Scott," and he was like, "Oh, I'm busy," and he.
Well, what his problem is that he works second shift, and like right now he's at work, and he gets off at like 12:30 tonight.
Right? Does he sleep? Does he sleep all of the rest of the time?
Well, no, but he goes to work at like 1:00 every day, and then he gets off at 12. So it's hard for him to.
He works 11.
I don't know.
Well, find out. That's the job of being a devoted AMLer. You want to be you're desperate to be a super fan, and you can't even find out when we can talk to Rick. Like, how do you think that's going to go in your file? Yeah,
I don't know. We got to get this figured out.
Yeah, wants to be a super fan, but can't even figure out how to talk to Rick. I mean, come on.
I know. I don't know what it's going to take to be a super fan. I've done everything except fall upside down.
What have you done? What have you done so far? You've been a nice guy, that's for sure.
Well, you've seen some of the stuff I've done. I'm not going to brag on myself. But anyway.
Well, you can't even get us organized with Rick. Come on now.
All right, I'll get Rick on with us. He's a good guy. He's a good communicator. He speaks clearly.
Perfect. He'd be perfect.
Yeah. He speaks up. He's a good guy. You like him.
Well, of course. How could you not like him? He's a friend of yours.
Yeah, there you go.
You know who I think we got to make as a super fan one of these days is Jerry Britton. He'd be a good one. He'd be a good one. He even made he was floating in a tube there not that long ago and made a public service announcement about the modeler's life, the AML Nation.
You gotta love it.
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
All right, Seth. Do you think we've covered it pretty much? Are we updated now, Scott, on all the comings and goings of Scott Lister?
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll
go to the garage when you come down and we'll hang out over there. So that's when we'll have fun. Yeah,
I'm there. I'm there on that one.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of things to do.
Yeah, we'll have a fun day.
Just one day? That's it?
Well, no, we'll spend
that's okay. No, I don't want to impose. That's for sure.
No, I got room. you can stay. You can stay a couple days.
Yeah, but I sleep in.
That's good. I do too.
All right. Okay.
7, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what your idea of sleeping in.
Yeah. No, I'm not Kelly now. I don't get up at 4:30. I get up at 5:30.
All right. Yeah.
He's hurting himself, right?
Yeah. It's not good for you to sleep that.
It's not good. Come on, Doc. You gotta back me up on this one. A guy that's his age cannot be beating himself to death. And
as the sun sets, you need to be looking after yourself more.
That's exactly. And you can't be. He thinks he's going to live on 4 and 5 hours, and 6 hours or 5 hours worth of sleep, and it's like
it's not going to happen.
It ain't going to work
because work is fun. It's fun there.
Well, I'm sure it is, but that doesn't mean he should be getting up at 4:00 just so he can do his hair and to be at work at 7.
At least he has hair.
Maybe if he shaved his beard, it wouldn't take so long.
Yeah.
Probably putting all that beard cream and all that stuff in it.
Come on, Kelly, smarten up.
Wow.
Well, all right. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you stay at him about that because
I am.
It's not good for him.
Well, we all need to stay. I think I should have him and Seth on one night, and we'll just do like
a medical visit.
A medical visit, yeah. Like we'll do a medical edition episode of A Modeler's Life. We'll
do a medical examination of Kelly Zoom style.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Ooh,
yeah.
Oh no, that wouldn't be good. Let's go away from that.
You're never going to be a super fan.
I'm not.
The rate you're going, buddy.
I know.
We'll just go back to Scott's shop. It's a nice place.
Yeah.
It is a nice place. It's a lot of fun. That's where I spend most of the daylight hours.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. It's hard for me to be in the basement when it's sunshiny outside.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're talking about your full-size shop. And what's your project? Are you still working on that Model T or what?
Yeah, that's one of them. And I got a T model, A model, and there's too much to name. A lot. I got a lot going on over there.
I'm thinking, what can I buy that Chevy pickup for? How much would you sell that?
I got a good price on it for you. I'll tell you.
All right.
Yeah.
You want a Model A Roadster?
Yeah, I got a Roadster.
I'm saying, Lionel, you want a Model A Roadster? My sister wants to sell hers. 29.
No, I want a pickup truck. If I'm going to get any kind of a custom thing, I'm getting a pickup truck. I got to get a pickup truck.
You got to remember, all those cars that I have were originally just pieces of junk.
Right.
And we took the bodies off of them, powder coated the frames. And do you have help? Or do you have a guy that works there or something? Well, I did a while. There's a guy now I have that, he does little stuff like keep things cleaned up and all. But back at one time, man, my dad had a couple guys body shop and all. But that's been a while. Now we do it all ourselves. Okay. And then you self-taught. Self-taught. Yeah.
With practice.
Yeah. With lots of practice and many mistakes.
Well, I know, but still, you gotta. How many cars you got in there?
About 25 to 30.
And how often? And I saw you send a load. You sold a load, 3 or 4 of them there about a while back.
Yeah, to a guy in Colorado. I'm at California.
Right. And do you just where do you advertise them when you want to sell them?
Just on different car magazines.
Okay. What's the coolest car you've got? What's your coolest collector car that you got?
I don't really know. I know they're all cool.
Which I like the fact that you got a bunch of Ford Galaxies.
Yeah, I love the Galaxies and the Fairlanes.
Yeah.
60 foot. I got the one favorite one.
What's
Go
that?
ahead.
Say the pickup truck. It's unreachable.
Pickup truck.
Yeah.
A pickup truck is the red and tan Ford pickup truck is undoubtedly my most favorite vehicle.
You got a couple of old junkers out the back there where they're just taking up space.
We'll get you into something. All right.
All right. Yeah. I think. And now you got to get Rick. So you get your main job now is to get Rick on the podcast.
All right. I'll get that worked out.
All right. That'll go a long way to your superfan status.
Okay. I can't wait. All right.
Well, you might have to wait. We don't just hand these things out willy-nilly.
Oh, I know. I've been. Oh, believe me, I know.
All right. The latest one we're going to hand out, number 40 is Joe D'Amato out there in Medford, because we decided. I decided one night I kind of sat bolt upright and suddenly realized I hadn't made him a super fan, and I thought, all those years he spent with Kelly, that alone would make you eligible to be a super fan.
Penance.
That would make you a super fan, wouldn't it?
All right. I think I know what I'm going to do with this. I did about 18 minutes with Don Iris and Mark Herrick about something else. So I think I'm going to tack that on the front of this. So we're going to close this up like it's a show, a really big shoe. So I'll give out the email address. It's Modeler's.
That would be a Modeler's Life.
Oh yeah, you want to go for it, man.
Modeler's Life at gmail.com. And you can click on the Moderately Agitated Mailboy on the webpage if you want to get some more information on all this. And that would be Modeler's Life, 1 L as in Lister, not 2 L's as in Greenville and Northern.
Wow, nice.
All right, that was really good.
See how he did that?
Yeah.
That was perfect.
You didn't cut me off like you do on Kelly.
No, wow. Kelly's Kelly.
Special.
New York.
Special.
Yeah, Kelly's Kelly.
He's special.
Yeah, we were doing some podcast the other night. Who were we talking to? Oh, we were talking to Tony Custer. And we had Tony Cook on there and Tony Custer. So Tony Custer was like, hey, we'll just call him TK. And then everybody was like, oh, you got 2, Chris Atkins says you got 2 Bruces. And I went, no, we don't. He says, yeah, you do. And I went, no, we got Kelly and we got Bruce.
Bruce.
Yeah. Kelly hasn't been Bruce for years. He's Kelly. The modeler. he's the modeler, simply known as Kelly. As Kelly. He's like Cher.
Is that K-E-L-L-Y? K-E-L-L-I-E?
No, it's K-E-L-L-Y. Yeah, who spelled that the other day? Somebody put that on the fans page.
Oops.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go. He was going to go ballistic when he saw that. And we have a website, amodelerslife.com. If you go there, you can find out all about the what do you call it? The podcast, and upcoming episodes we've done over the last 3 months. You can find out about our Patreon channel. Because if you like this, I don't know if this is on. I got a feeling this might be on the free channel, based on the quality of the talent.
Ooh. All right,
setting you up, Scott.
Yeah,
setting you up.
That was rude.
Wow.
That was rude, and I apologize. Anyways, if we are on the free channel, if you go to the website, A Modeler's Life, amodeler'slife.com, and you click on the Patreon channel, it'll tell you all about that. And if you like this, and you want twice as much for just 365 payments of 16 cents, you can have 2 podcasts a week instead of 1.
16 cents.
That's all.
Like nothing.
That's like nothing. It's like what is that? It's like 95 cents a week or something. It's like $1.12 a week or something like that.
And if you double that, you get a free T-shirt.
And if you get double that, you get a free T-shirt. And if COVID's ever over, I'll be able to get the T-shirts out easier. Oh my God! Don't give me
probably about 3/8 inch of coffee in the bottom of your Starbucks coffee.
There you go. Yeah.
What was that?
16 cents.
Yeah.
16 cents. It's about 3/8 inch worth of coffee
exactly.
in the bottom of your Starbucks coffee.
Yeah, exactly. What else?
You throw that away.
Yeah, you would
and if
throw
you want
that
to buy
away.
if you want to buy some supplies to, continue the scenery and building like Scott's done on his Greenville and Northern, where would you go?
You would go to Midwest Model Railroad, which is in Independence, Missouri. I've been told it's not in downtown Independence, Missouri. It's on the north side of Independence, but it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's downtown. So they're in Independence, Missouri. They are now 15,000 square feet.
Is that 15,000?
15,000.
Wow.
It's becoming a destination. It's like walking through a real-life Walther's catalog is what it's like.
That is unbelievable.
It is. And this has all taken place over 10 years, and they started in their basement.
I know. I remember that. Wow. He has come a long ways.
He has come a long ways, and that just shows you how strong
I'm very impressed with him about that.
And
wow.
they do a really great job. And and if you want like a T-shirt or a mug or a hoodie or a hat, if you just go to Midwest Model Railroad, and their URL is midwestmodelrr.com, and you just go across the navigation bar and click on AML, boom, you are in a wonderland. Yeah, a wonderland of AML merchandise. Literally a wonderland. Whatever you possibly
Swag City.
Swag City.
Swag City.
Swag City. All right. I think that's it. I think we've covered everything, have we not? I believe so.
Yeah, if anybody ever gets bored, they can go to my Facebook page. I'm getting ready to start posting again.
All right. So let's tell everybody what your Facebook page is.
It's Building the Greenville and Northern by Scott Lister and S-Scale.
That's not even close.
It is. You can get there by that way.
It's Modeling the Greenville and Northern RR in S-Scale by Scott Lister.
Okay. All right. That's what it is. But I'm sure it would pop up if you would have just.
That's why he hasn't posted recently. He forgot how to find it.
You can't even find it. Yeah, exactly.
I can't find it. No, but really, I'm getting ready. I got a lot of projects to post, so step by step.
Well, what kind of projects do you have? Why is it so hard to pull information out of you?
It's not.
Okay, well, what kind of... never mind, we'll do that on another show. But you better have notes made and be ready.
I will, just for super fandom.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Lots of slides.
Yeah.
A lot of slides.
Yeah, a lot of slides.
Yeah. A lot of slides. Yeah.
If there's no photos, it didn't happen.
Yeah, pictures 1,000 words.
Our buddy Jim Sacco had to have his kidney out because he's been struggling with the big C, cancer, and he had to have one of his kidneys out. And everybody was wishing him well on his page, and I couldn't help it. I just put, if there's no photos, it didn't happen. And
that went over really well.
Well, that's because I had checked up on him the night before he went to the hospital, and then I said to him, as soon as you're feeling good enough, make sure you send me a text so I know you made it through, blah, blah, blah. And then he did, and then the next day, I think it was the next day in the morning, he sent me a couple of texts saying, okay, I'm feeling even better today, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like 8:20 in the morning, and the next thing I see is this photo of this giant incision.
Ooh.
Wow.
And I'm like...
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, and I'm like, do not do that to me at 8 o'clock in the morning, please and thank you. I'm not that I'm not that interested.
You think? Yeah.
All right, that's the end of the story. Okay, Scott, are you ready to take us out of here?
I'm ready.
All right. So remember, a Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10
antique truck drivers.
And now it's time for the New Jersey Transit Elevator Escalator Report. Take it away, Dave. Dave?
Good morning, everybody. Westfield westbound, just out of service in the last hour or so. The vendor's en route. Take a look at that one. Absecons back in service this morning. Trenton Transit Center number 4 escalator. This one, we're not really sure exactly what happened. Nice Vision shows a bunch of people on it. It just sort of stops the brake engage. So I think we'll just be a quick reset, but we'll check it this morning. Union Center Island is still out for its midlife overhaul. Montclair State University number 2 is out. That one's the parking deck responsibility, so they'll put it back in service this afternoon, hopefully. And Newark Penn Station elevator number 37 is still out for its door replacement. We're not real thrilled with the vendor performance on that guy, but it'll come around here like everything else. So I'll keep you posted.
It's another Lincoln Homer.
That was good.
Well, that was better than what I did years ago or a while back. Audios, you remember?
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say.
I tried to forget, actually.